just wanted a real gift. What does that mean? Well, I speak about Wittgenstein. He was a real gift. His life was a real gift. So decide what are your true friends, what is the exact caliber. They don't even have to be related in any fucking way with any possible structure in your memory. Why wouldn't you allow yourself to travel into any motherfucking future? In any species of madness that you might be enticed by. It's about a certain vector. It's a vector of purpose or spine of attitude or something that would be able to survive through death. How can you taste this? How can you simulate the gate of death? How can you simulate this threshold? How do you... So, stand with a sort of protocol of sentences, which is knowledge is a matter of energy. What do you mean? Knowledge is the generosity of your logical definition. Knowledge is a matter of the swiftness of travel, the swiftness of dialogue between states. It's strange that we have a structure of memory which is so primitive as a mode of being. When one gets into subtlety, there is a very fluid capacity to shift positions. There is a threshold of exhaustion, there is a threshold of fearlessness, there is a threshold of speed. It's a very basic hygiene, reduction. The phenomenological reduction is a matter of very basic hygiene of energy, or owning your energy. So I stand before you. Do I have any kind of spine? So you have all of these forms of love that you can access in your mapping of memory, but this is a very primitive map. This is a very primitive language. How does it feel? So if one gets into a sort of fluid shift of positions, this is a sort of producing the cooperation, the collaboration, the team, or the more generous identity. How does it feel? How does it feel? How does it feel? A certain position, a certain possible story, a certain possible place. Does the configuration of experience here achieve its function? This is the question. Its manifest function. Is this relevant? So one awakens into this ground of relativity. One steps out of petty motions. One can step out of petty inertia. One stands in shock in the immensity of this alien configuration of possibilities. But how does this shock turn into clarity? So I remember, I need to honor the vast creation that is this context, which has a real force of insight in it. There was this desire to attain skillful expression of oneself, skillful, vaster, responsible expression. I wanted to attain this love that is highly responsible. That was sacrifice. I wanted to stand in responsibility. there is a clear discipline of the outrageous, which is stand in the true reverence towards your master. It's a caliber of patience. Even if that master is the fucking overwhelming thickness of patience, alien caliber of what experience implies. What this so strange. How many species or fields can you accept in your horizon? Very possibility implies. You can answer in the logic of I have a map of notions to define what they were, but actually they are so unique, each one of them. Shock your master into ecstasy by what you can see beyond. Just shock your fucking master into revelation. There are sentences like the difficulty of discerning between formal sentences and experiential sentences. That is the logic of a discipline. Why wouldn't you achieve that kind of science? It is difficult to discern whether your ground of confidence lies in the correspondence with experience or in the structure of language. Do you have confidence in the memory of truth, or do you trust the experience as confirmation? There is a subtle there is an insidious delusion related to identity. We have a model of identity which is this is identical with itself. This pencil is identical with itself.
What is it? What is it? What is it? What are you? What are you?
Come on. Why wouldn't you take it seriously? Come on. There must be some real generosity in. What do you mean? A new kingdom of clarity, or this new kingdom of honesty. There must be some type of light of honesty that would kind of
stand in this discipline of
awaken you to
full
the mathematics of
deconstruction, full vacuum.
All implications. There must be some kind of light that is beyond this small imagination of the field of perception. There is this naive fucking light of experience. There is a small, obscure, delusional light of what are your friends? Reveal their body. Perception. Stand in the logic of their body. Stand in their
stand in this discipline in which I love you so that I want to destroy the world so as to find you in this celebration of spines, celebrations of marrow, purified marrow.
There is this naive kindergarten
purified
type of
forms
conception of light. It's a matter of handling paradox. It's a matter of the visual reveling. How paradoxical can you be? So the visual contrasting position, primitive language, what kind of highly contrasting positions can you hold together?
There is still fear of death in the world.
Primitive emotions of fear of death in the world. Primitive capacity. There is still fear of death in the world. Imagination. That's common sense. Present moment. I'm a disciple of this
common
sentence,
sense.
which is the distinction between formal and experiential. There is some kind of flight of subtlety. I'm a disciple of this sentence. And you speak such things, this is not happening in the common realm. This kind of courage of the outrageous does not happen in the common realm. Certainty of experience. This is happening only in the attained dialogue of purified fabrics of logic. So if I say I will kill my master, I need to find my master. Or I need to find myself. Impossible. Why is it? There is no infrastructure of honesty in this world. Come on. There is not yet any possibility of true honesty. There is no survival in beyond this shocking realization challenge for yourself, which is the steel wall of a real achievement, a real discovery. So where is the true reverence? Where is a real discovery? A real discovery. A real achievement which would withstand any sort of relation, any sort of surviving the overwhelming and shocking dimension of all. So produce this war, produce this adventure. How this moment is possible. Produce this possible adventure. Where you. So there is a logical. Give yourself this fucking challenge of the true gift. So you have various elements that have authority in their different domain. You have like organs that need to come together to produce a complete body. Okay, so the force of adequate expression relates to alignment, and it is a measure of, there is a key of withstanding paradox or positions that are thoroughly invisible to one another. The aligned voice of multiple scales of horizon, which is a measure of honesty. There is a wall of invisibility when artistic force of expression is a measure of fucking honesty. Why is it that you are so interested in the dialogue between Turing and Wittgenstein? Unrelated positions. The soul force or the determination or the clarity of meaning is a measure of alignment. And you say you are invisible, it's just a matter of... There is a dialogue between two attitudes, the scientific and the philosophical, or the positive and the negative. What do you mean? What is your intent? What is your logic? What is the cause of your action? Which is a matter of logical generosity, or also a factor of when you can hold really a very vast contrast, vast scale contrast between two forms of fluidity of the nature, two forms of truth, the subtlety of attention, or the subtlety of the nature of the fruit in the notion of identity. The world of an artist is different than the nature of the fruit in the world of like a mathematician would stand on a certain type of truth, mathematical truth. An entrepreneur or a scientist. So how does a philosopher get to... So what? How can one act in a mathematician? So what? So what? Considering this you take that, you like if you are able to stand in the skeleton of that insight, how does it survive in some other fucking context? How does it survive in this stupid context or that? How can you travel with purified logical substance? Where is that capacity? Threshold of the irreversible. Where is that standing beyond the threads of hope? Naive resonance of temporal identity. Highly improbable thresholds of shifting between formal and experiential. You cannot lie in this domain. So you get used the alignment of your being is the capacity to reduce this imagined context, this small physics of the present moment, or this kind of fierce threshold of judgment where you cannot story made with the... There is no hiding. Clay of ink, there is no hiding here. Light. Stupid, primitive imagination of what the world is. When I speak, where is my ground of truth? Come on, where is my ground of stable presence? If I say, my mother is here, where can you travel to? Is this experience? What is your elegance? There is no hiding in petty identity here. You know you don't have such a ground of hiding. You don't have any ground of the inertial story. What happens when you destroy this primitive ground of identity? There is a sort of a hand of insight that can travel through multiple domains. So if you get a grip on some insight, where can you travel with that? This is a matter of integrity. You can attain integrity within your domains of existence if you can achieve a body of insight or a body of truth. Like a body that is unbreakable. You're not touched by any context of experience. This is sort of the threshold of fearlessness, or the transcending the being of intent. Yeah. Come on. What is my fucking purpose? Okay, if you can say that they are here, how do you stay awake in their presence? If it's fucking... Who will join this celebration? Who will join this? It is a threshold of exhaustion. It is feast. A threshold of disillusion. Who will stand purified in their being to withstand the caliber of this feast? Irreversible threshold of irreversible. when you say such things, you can really travel into the exact context in which such words have their authority, have their grounds. You remember the grounds of experience that spoke these words. This is like true reverence.
This is so difficult to really discern the nature of the fucking
integrity when you can feel the realm of authority which gives force to a certain insight in your...
We have very
language.
distorted maps of the representations of what we are, or
I
even
really love the sentence.
our models
that
in our
sentence.
culture,
I
they have very...
can have clarity on the experiential configuration in which that sentence was revealed. You had a revelation at some point. And when you understood that, it was true to you. So it is like a portal, a true sentence, like a significant, meaningful sentence that you give your life for, is a portal to the exact alien body of the context that made it possible. In mathematics, for example, there is no such thing as... So now you enter universal necessity, or real... he would say also, logic does not have this diamond structure that we seem to trust in. Or mathematicians would act in the cultural resonance. So they would be kind of intoxicated with this advancing in some sort of fractal mirroring, which is like a bit delusional in the sense it's the anatomy of insight. It's the anatomy of insight. Insight is pure clarified drive, pure joy, pure speed. Like when Wittgenstein speaks about the heavens opened by Cantor. So there is this quote that says, no one is going to take us out of the paradise that Cantor opened for us. And it's a bit like an intoxication with fractal. If I want to be joyful association in life, which means to feel mind mirroring of to bathe. The mind is a function of association. The resonance of liberated mind is a function of unexpected associations. Forms of enticement or excitement. A clarified meta-logic is but not being aware of the establishing of a species of joy. What kind of joy can you attain in producing primitive unexpected associations? There is no, it's not just liberating a necessary way of following the power of association, but discerning the species of joy that can value necessary association. How much can you withstand freedom? And you're in the fucking chaos. Honor what decides all the random bullshit grow in such a manner that all the random associations. How do you continue to count? How capable are you to give meaning formula which is to thoroughly understand or to take it forward to unexpected ecstasy. In every instant is like an achievement life. Come on, what is it? Your anatomy will tell you. Be born to fuck, to give birth, to die. So, to achieve a cycle, a complete cycle of a narrative anatomy. Like Wittgenstein, possibly what if But you train with the master, then you fucking lose a certain marrow.
So maybe you need some fuel.
Destroy the motherfucker. Into a different type of enticement.
So how sharp or how fast?
Maybe you need to understand what is the nature of fuel.
Anatomical.
What is the nature of motive? What is
So
the
there is some kind of
nature of soul power?
function.
Which is
Come on!
the same as the narrative substance. What drives you, what pulls you into a certain story, what makes you interested, what
The achieved rhythm.
keeps you awake in a story,
State
in
of
a
flow is
field of logic, what keeps you interested in a certain direction.
attaining
What makes you act?
a certain metalogic or a field or the realms of experience. Species of joy or skeleton.
The fuck?
I just want to do a real gift.
Come on!
Wanted to produce a real gift. My real gift. What is my true nourishment?
What makes you act now? What makes you move now? What makes you move now? What kind of drive? What kind of force? What kind of pull? What is your?
Okay.
What is your?
Be honest with this.
What is your clarified drive?
So I want to say
What
all
is your
you have and in the most
vector? What is your substance of?
that your anatomy is a fundamental narrative.
What is the intrigue in your very motion?
Your
What?
fucking vehicle.
What is your
vehicle
intrigue?
is like a symbol
No.
of a life. Resonance. To attain the symbol anatomy is to attain
So I have two wings that function
an
like this.
accelerated cycle of clarifying spine of the dialogue.
Destiny.
Like a sort of a tractor with the blades that can just purify the ground.
Like a generational
These are my two daughters.
There is no sort of death and rebirth. It's related
come
to random bullshit.
What do you mean?
Certain logical causality and physical causality.
Come on,
The way I
Fuck do you mean?
now
Come
is,
on.
can you handle the grounds of certain? On what should I boss certain? Yes.
What do you mean?
What speed of ecstasy can you handle? What scale of ecstasy can you handle? In alignment with clarified
How clear can you get in the way this dialogue can move? What is your mathematics of fluidity of states?
manifest.
Can you achieve such
Don't
mathematics? What do you mean? The fuck do you mean?
There is a very cunning type of
It's like
delusion related to the nature of ecstasy.
Just honesty,
Seems
just
to be somewhere in the body. Okay, the trunk in the
What the
animal
fuck is
structure.
there is a stage, there is a universal stage, there is a place of full transparency where your
rhythm, some sort of prayer is rhythm.
exact attitude is thoroughly, totally
Prayer is
broadcast. So, you know,
entry into
dialogue
between
it's like, you know, in every moment,
just ideal of pure
You.
experience. Stop.
the
There is also
power
time
of your
progression,
drive
and then you
is
have
related
shift
to
states. You discern states. The dialogue
This is
prayer is
actually
pure experience, which is
it's like such a
delusional in a very
simple equation. The soul power or the drive power or the precision, the clarity of your actions is related to this.
Okay. So
What is your resonance? Meaning,
So what?
what perspectives in your field are interested in
You
the
say some
very
random
clear
shit like
substance
that,
of
but
your attitude?
How
Meaning,
does that hold
in this
in a
fabric of total
different
transparency.
context?
There is no fucking hiding, there is no
So if I would relate to James
distance, there is no possible uncertainty, there is no doubt, there is just
you really deal with a particular
thorough
frame of mind. Okay. An artist would show clarity. and it goes like this.
philosopher would speak about.
So
the text of Wittgenstein or
the force and the clarity of your
discipline of
actions
his mind is one that
artist would be able to
moves
Or
chaotically in various
a
positions
function of
manifest
because there is a state key.
force of this
attention, which is
You
also.
are in the search of state alignment.
If you can
You
act
search
in
for a very
What do you
peculiar
think would
state.
pay attention
If you find that, then you
your
discern
attitude?
everything.
Or
Okay. I can see everything all at once.
certainty,
what
clarity
supports your
function of the life.
Okay. What is
So
the nature of this alloy?
Is a function of
The
such
improbable
Right.
alloy.
Alloy.
To deal with Wittgenstein, you don't need to
improbable
raise
alloy.
it like
is a matter of
common
display
architecture,
general
the construction
This
of
is not
knowledge.
So I want to contradict
It's like an
certain
alloy
key
milk
state
and
of
aluminium.
insight of ecstasy is.
Okay,
so
it seems to be some sort of chemical
The force of your action, which is
given.
simultaneously clarity of reason or meaning
Say such
and
What do you need this method?
force of drive. So there are two factors in
Where do you stand?
the possibility of intention or movement or action or manifesting.
You tell me.
And they are both related to the resonance or
Sorry.
alignment.
I'm gonna give up the word.
What
There is
parts
a
of
very
your field of existence contribute or resonate or
strong and stable sense of home in this species of
In
ecstasy.
Buddhist terms,
the scale of alignment is the
Question.
Are you born in that context? Like, do you have anything to say? What do you have to say?
the distinction between
What the fuck do you
experiential
have to
and
say in
formal.
that context?
Is the force
Philosopher
of
in
the
the table.
The force
Table
is
is not
precisely related
visible
to
or
meaning. So these two are
inaccessible.
one.
There is also the
Do you have
formless.
anything to say? If you are not
You imagine a sort of
But it
feast
is
of
also a matter of
intelligence,
alignment,
desire,
meaning
the realm
there's
of
no walls.
form, the realm of the formless.
are you aligned to
What do you have to say?
the choir of voices of all the fields of existence you are aware of?
To add, to contribute to, like if the culture is a
integrity-
feast of creation. What is your contribution? What is your voice? There's no exclusive
If
feast
I
of
would try
creation.
to
It's
be
just this is really
poetical
about
and frame it as a
effort of
mathematical
birth.
equation, I would say
the field I liked this dialogue because it was
the scale of integrity equals
quality of intelligence,
alignment,
power,
integrity,
manifest,
or subtlety.
function of alignment,
Actually,
Brahma, which is the very basic sutra from
the subtlety of
how
identity
the
is
unbearable honesty
related
of
to
you
integrity.
asking yourself, Brahma was kind of who is in agreement.
On the other side of the equation, you would have the two factors of
fundamentally joining. Where do these
force and clarity,
narrative? What
the
are you?
soul energy or the logical energy.
How do you understand this question? Are you alive now? Conviction. Or certainty.
The drive, the narrative
Cannot
drive.
rise. There's certainty
which you were not.
Which is
like my daughter related to emotional power but also to applied
simultaneous
we
to
started this
meaning.
No, I am the source of everything. I am the source of life.
In a sense that you can produce reason for
Like James
this
Brown.
is the distinction between us, that anything that you are driven by. So if you are sufficiently driven, you produce meaning for it. This is the realization of the nature of faith.
Architecture and you
This is the realization
such a
of how
stance.
faith is in relation to reason.
I ask myself how
Where your
divine in my world
foundational desire is,
stand
your reasoning will
so okay. I am intrigued in my very marrow.
will
The birth of the
spring
alien
from
body
that,
is
will
in
gravitate
awakening to
around
the
that. So unbearable kind of meaning, as reasoning is a sort of
Talking
in my field of concern, secondary
ramifications of the present
the liberation from this animal ideal of
freedom.
ecstasy is quite significant.
Withstand the possibility of freedom is
The
quite
next
strong
thing
and
is sort of related to logical generosity or
so
logical
attitudes simply unverifiable, untenable, or unscaled. We cannot handle freedom. We do not have the infrastructure to handle absolute physics and technology. It's an infrastructure of discernment, such as capable or
step beyond the
stabilizing
pieces of existence or
fields of
non-existence of the world.
particularly
opens out a totally distinct
substances of
very
joy or drive or
Shakespeare is a sort of sum of lucid in a sort of cultural resonance. Because I know that this land is in wisdom, then you would have Husserl in front of Shakespeare, and Shakespeare would encourages to be or not to be question, and then Husserl would say, to be or not to be. This is precisely the misleading question. This is the nature of the dialogue between the Buddha and Brahma. Come on! And this is the alien nature of the model of a being like the Buddha related to our model of gods. Because there is a power of Buddha is such a being that can shift dimensions or can manifest in any realm of being. There is a freedom and with very exact purpose. Like a refresh capacity, which is basically to move in a different context. If you are in, I stand in the threshold species of truth, if you have a form of insight that you can hold on to, then you travel through various contexts and give it various bodies, and this is a sort of fueling or giving it coherence or aligning it, or it's a bit like you put your hand on some truth, you trust it, you shake its grounds, and then you move into various fields of experience and you engage an organ of subtle dialogue, which is an organ of subtle embodiment, or subtle manifesting of skillful means. Skillful means is related to adequate forms of expression, adequate forms of manifesting. Okay.